What up with Lil Man?
He's scared. He shot a cop. Fuck. But I put bail on that.
About Savino.
Well, Savino, he gotta eat the charge. But he knew that. So if he keep his story tight, he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, we knew Orlando was a snitching motherfucker, man. Fuck him. But this cash got us caught up.
I know, man. That's my fault, man. Bay and Savino came to me with the idea that, yo, if they take Orlando, they can take the cash too. I was like, all right, y'all get your payday.
Yo, how the fuck is Orlando gonna front this type of cash? What it say?
I know, man. I know, I fucked up.
All right, take this trash outside, fucking burn it. Tell Weebay clean up the mess before he jet.
Now, one of my favorite moments of Avon Barksdale on the show is in season 1, when they all in the gym playing ball and he's greenlighting the hit on Omar and his squad. Now, if you're familiar with The Wire, you know that this decision by Avon caused a domino effect that eventually led to the death or conviction of every last person in this room. But besides that, what impresses me so much about this scene is simply the dialogue.
You know how the cracker motherfuckers do when they kill a deer? Or like when they go out killing animals or whatnot? Got them on the front of the truck, tied up, stretched out, so everybody could see it. You feel me? Serious, that's what I want. I want that motherfucker on display. We send a message to the courtyard about this motherfucker, so people know we ain't playing.
Yeah, we got peoples on it.
Now, the first thing that Avon tells us in this scene is that he has a small regard for human life, especially when it's for the sake of his reputation. And he uses this analogy of a dead deer and how the hunters would sprawl a deer out on the back of their trucks to brag and boast about the size of their kill. And I actually like this analogy. I like how he explained what he wants in a unique way. But the idea and the logic behind this act is far from original. This dates back always to the times of antiquity, when kings and conquerors understood that the only true way to cement their power is through spectacular displays of violence. And Avon, being the king of West Baltimore, is no exception to this. Understand, man, there are 3 principles that form the basis of social power. They are the control of violence, the control of information, and individual charisma. Put simply, these are the principles to obtain power and dominance. And historically, at least 2 of these had to be in confluence for a state to officially form. So on a smaller scale, these same rules apply to a drug organization. But the writers of the show are so good, right, that they checked all 3 boxes within a 90-second conversation. Because if you never saw Avon prior to this scene, you would still be able to comprehend what's going on, what Avon is about, and what position he holds in his group.
You tell him it's 1,000 on the Bucks, and it's a deuce on Omar.
Yeah, Bird's on it. Savino too. You know Bird jailed with Omar down the cut, right? He said he all faggot.
A faggot?
Mm-hmm. Fuck out of here. Said he had a whole stable of boys down in Jessup. This punk motherfucker got even less use for pussy now that he home.
So he got a lot of heart for a cocksucker, huh?
Yo. We doubling down on sweet lips, all right? You make it $4 motherfucking thousand on him. 6 if I get the chance to holler at him before he get got.
Say no more.
Take care of all that.
Now, the rest of that scene just checked off the informational box, letting us know that every person of rank within the organization is also required to gather intelligence and stay informed about any potential threats. In that Slim Charles video I made, I explained how Marlowe uses Stringer's death as propaganda during a war. Now, propaganda simply means distorted information used to serve the interests of the messenger. So think of it like a powerful rumor that gets used as a weapon, because the aim of propaganda is not just to rely on fake facts, but to actively influence the opinions and behavior of other people.
This nigga Stringer Bell, man, was bad. begging Chris, yo. For real. Like, you know what I mean? Thinking in his pocket, talking about how much cheese he gonna give us, you know what I mean? We just let him walk. Oh man, Chris hollow, man, bitch, you gonna die. This nigga just dropped to his fucking knees like a little cocksucker, man. Start crying. This shit was worse than fucking pathetic.
And you know what else we might could do? Give each tower its own name, right? And then we do like some fake competing. So a fiend gets some bad shit from one, he go back to the other.
There's a thinking man right there.
Now, if you're any familiar with World War II, you know that the kings of propaganda is Adolf Hitler and Joseph Goebbels. These two Nazis understood that propaganda had to have an element of truth to it, because if it's completely devoid of reality, then it ceased to be effective. This is why Marlowe's rumor of killing Stringer worked so well on the streets, because people already believed that it was his work. So all he had to do was feed into an existing rumor. And I think that Avon could take a few lessons from Marlowe in this regard: the control of information.
You know, some of the youngins been saying your pup's the tour with a snitching boy. Michael. And that's what they saying. Huh. Yeah.
No sign of him, but I ain't on nothing else as long as it take.
Yeah, I ain't heard. Omar bagged up. Shit, I thought y'all was gonna tell me. I just got the word myself from Monk.
See, Avon kinda needed Stringer to run things while he was locked up. Avon's mistake was trusting Stringer as his only source of information. He should have had at least 2 or 3 more people feeding him intel on his business. This act alone could have prevented so much bullshit. It was well known in the streets that Stringer was letting the Eastside niggas have the towers. But word gets back to Avon as if they're being invaded. So as we know, he calls in Brother Mozone and a whole whirlwind happens. But this is not just the result of Avon being in jail. He was already allowing Stringer Bell to isolate him.
Well, you've not been talking on any phones. You've not been touching any drugs, and from now on, you are not doing the money runs. Me and Bake, we're gonna take care of that shit until this whole thing cool off. Let me get that pager. Oh, what's up? You serious? Serious. I'm gonna get you a New York supply number only. And these motherfucking local cats wanna talk to you, they gotta talk to me. We gotta build a wall around you, B.
Now, most of us understand the pros and the cons of building a wall around you. Yes, it can provide you with temporary safety or relief. In fact, it's actually the smartest thing to do sometimes, but only if it's being done briefly, just enough time to regroup, because retreating inside of your castle for too long is always more damaging than it is protective. Power can only be maintained through social interactions. And from the look on Stringer Bell's face, I'm sure he was well aware of this. See, Stringer Bell has more of a political approach when it comes to obtaining power. In season 1, he was sneaky. What Stringer would do was wait for something chaotic to happen, like Omar trying to kill Avon outside the bar. Then he would use this incident to legislate new laws and rules. Mind you, rules that seem to only benefit Stringer Bell, because by giving up his pager, Avon is also giving up his presence, the little bit of presence that he did have. See, Avon is not like Marlowe, who you could find at the park holding court, or who you can find in a neighborhood store. Avon moved around the city like somebody was trying to kill him.
What's up, man? You got a problem? Good.
I'm just saying though, man, it seems like we just going past careful, man, with all of this, man. Like we bugging out or something. You know, like we paranoid and shit.
Nah, I don't want to use his phone. He used his phone yesterday. What you blowing out your mouth for, man? You act like ain't nobody you have to get me, man? Don't got no motherfucking enemies?
Nah, man. Right.
Now, if Avon went to go see a psychiatrist, they probably would diagnose him with PPD. Shit, I know they probably would diagnose me, because what the psychiatrist might not understand is, in our environment, paranoia is healthy. Even if you don't have enemies or think you have enemies, you probably should live like you do. Because I've come to realize it's impossible to estimate how many people really dislike you. So I feel Avon on this, and we just have to understand. But overall, I think that Avon's leadership is competent enough to last much longer than he did on the show. I don't blame him or Marlo for falling to that major crime shooting. They literally was like a federal task force, just without the authority and the resources. But if you follow real investigations, their police work was second to none. You put Lester and McNulty in the right department, and they could have convicted John Gotti. So I'll give Avon a pass for his back-to-back Jessup trips, because he got caught by the best.
Before on the parole violation, no matter whatever else happens, you do every day what's left of your 7 without seeing a jury.
Maybe even conspiracy to murder. We take this federal, see if we can't get you 10 to life. No parole.
Whatever. Shit, you only do 2 days no how. It's the day you go in and the day you come out.
Now, ironically, this statement actually used to make sense to me. That is, until the judge finally sent my ass upstate. And as I'm laying on my bunk, the saying actually comes to my head.
You only do 2 days. It's the day you go in, the day you come out.
Which honestly might be one of the dumbest sayings ever. But I will admit that the saying sounds so cool that it can fool you into believing that it's actually true. But contrary to Avon's beliefs, a jail bid is nothing like 2 days, y'all.
I don't know. I did 14 years. Well, yeah, you did you a little stretch, true. But you still a soldier, right?
If anything, a jail bid is more like a long-ass novel or book, whereas the first and last page are irrelevant in comparison to what's in between the book, like the plot and the storyline. But I do understand that the intentions of this saying is to portray confidence and resilience in the face of incarceration. But regardless, these words were constructed by someone who's never really been to jail, with a diluted sense of time, because the first and last day are not really that special.
In between them 2 days, give you something to think on.
Now, of all the negative criticism of Stringer Bell on my channel, I actually disagree with Avon's decision to get rid of his friend. Now, mind you, this is prior to Stringer snitching, so I'm not going to factor that in. But remember when Brother Mozone approached Avon in a barbershop with the grievance of being set up by Stringer? He then gives Avon an ultimatum to either set Stringer up or be done.
How can we fix it? You want money?
Money?
Yeah, this is business.
Business is where you are now. But what got you here is your word and your reputation. With that alone, you've still got an open line to New York. Without it, you're done.
Now here, this statement, "you're done," kinda serves as a double entendre, where on one hand, it can imply as a threat to Avon being done physically, or it could just mean the severance of ties and connections, implying Avon being done politically. But whatever the case, Brother Mozone is usually very clear and concise with his words, but he chooses to be vague and provocative in this occasion. And I will give Avon some credit for at least attempting to take responsibility for Stringer.
If there's a way, if my man, if he made a mistake here, then I'm willing to pay the cost.
But ultimately, he was still forced to set him up the next day.
What time y'all meeting?
What time? 12. I think. What? You need me to do something for you?
Nah, I'm just seeing where you're gonna be at.
And as a leader, this decision just doesn't sit right with me. Yes, Stringer Bell was a treacherous and conniving man, He secretly got D'Angelo killed in jail. He gave up half of Avon's territory to Prop Joe for some better work. And he attempted to eliminate Brother Mozone by recruiting a bitter rival. So yeah, String wasn't really shit, but yet and still, it goes against my personal principles to give up a close friend, whether it's for the sake of my own survival or for the sake of political or financial gains. See, sometimes shit really get that deep, and if it truly can't be helped, then the most I can do for Stringer as my friend is to kill him myself. So Brother Mozone just gonna have to be mad or cut me off, because what I'm not going to do is give up my best friend to you and Omar, so y'all can kill him in whichever manner y'all choose to. No thank you. I'll make sure my brother gets a quick and honorable death. It's the least we could do for each other.
What's done is done. It being your town, I trust you to do it proper.
Now, I'm gonna have to cut out a few of these season 3 clips, y'all, only because I want a chance to fully break them down in part 2. I think Avon might be one of my favorite people to talk about. And the viewers on my channel also tend to be observant. So I'm sure y'all noticed that Avon's leadership in season 1 was entirely different from his leadership in season 3. He had some ups and downs during the war, but overall, watching Avon's organization in season 3 was equivalent to watching a Lakers game this year. Yeah, they might win a few battles here and there, but nobody's expecting them to win this war with this roster. But I'm still a firm believer that if Stringer's attention wasn't divided between the business world and the streets, him and Avon were still more than capable to handle Marlo and Chris. But who knows? Thanks for coming out again for me, y'all. It's your boy Swartz. You here in a man's world. Like, comment, and subscribe for me and all that. It's time for me to get out of here, y'all.